Email me, Matt@KSL.com.
There you go. Problem solved. Great job, Matt. A push to move the state hospital out of Provo. We've got an exclusive look here at a developer's plans to replace it.
I feel like he's a very visionary individual who has big plans.
What's included in that visionary plan and why some of the Capitol are pushing back. Tonight, what's behind the push to move the state hospital? The proposal keeps popping up on Capitol Hill. Relocate the hospital, sell that prime property where it sits in Provo.
Well, now KSL is getting an exclusive look at one developer's big plans for the site. News specialist Daniel Woodruff has the story.
On a recent rainy morning, we enter the grounds of the Utah State Hospital. It's quiet, nestled against the mountains in East Provo.
So the campus here is a very beautiful, peaceful environment for our patients.
Dallas Earnshaw is the hospital superintendent. He's worked here since the 80s, but the hospital is a lot older than that. It opened in 1885 as the Territorial Insane Asylum.
So this is one of our patient care areas.
Earnshaw shows us around. There are medical facilities, activity rooms, and treatment areas. The hospital serves 313 patients with serious mental illness. Those patients range from age 83 down to age 8.
And this is the pediatric unit. In this room here, some of the children who are at the state hospital attend school.
All the patient care facilities have been rebuilt in the last 25 or 30 years, 2 of them in 2014.
They have their own bedrooms.
In the past, Earnshaw has used that to argue the state hospital should stay put. But Representative John Hawkins disagrees.
I think the hospital should move.
Hawkins tells KSL it would be better to have multiple mental health treatment centers throughout Utah.
It's just really hard to have a central place to take everybody in the state that needs those services.
But there's another factor behind his desire to move the hospital.
I was approached in full openness by some developers that want to develop that land.
Those developers own Splash Summit Water Park, which is located right next to the state hospital. One of them is a constituent of Hawkins who's donated to him several times.
I feel like he's a very visionary individual who has big plans.
Those plans are indeed big. KSL got a hold of them. They propose buying the state hospital land and building a $1.6 billion development with hotels, restaurants, housing, a ski resort, a new water park, even an animation studio.
When you see these plans, what do you think of what he wants to put there?
I think they look awesome. I think that we have an opportunity to develop something in Utah County that would be second to none in the state.
Especially, Hawkins says, if it's finished before the Winter Olympics in 2034. But on Capitol Hill over the years, this proposal to move the state hospital has not moved.
It's serving people very well where it's at.
Representative Steve Elison works a lot on mental health issues.
The state hospital's been there so long that we've basically rebuilt the whole thing. We have some quite new units.
Representative Norm Thurston's district in Provo includes the hospital property.
I think it'd be a really hard argument to make that it is cost-effective to move the state hospital at this point.
He estimates it would cost nearly $1 billion and sees no reason why it needs to happen.
It's a great location. There's a lot of open space. There's a lot of room to grow.
But Hawkins argues moving the hospital could help improve mental health treatment. Besides the money from selling the land, he'd like to see a permanent tax on whatever development that goes in devoted to mental health. Hawkins says it's personal for him as he's struggled with his own mental health after nearly dying from COVID-19.
That's the idea, is to make mental health resources more available throughout the state.
Back at the hospital, leaders aren't sharing their opinion. In a statement, the Department of Health and Human Services said the current location provides significant advantages, but they're open to studying the issue and finding the best way to provide and improve mental health care. The only question, whether that means staying here or leaving and making room for something else.
Now, just yesterday, the legislature passed a bill dealing with mental health, but a provision that was in it requiring the state hospital be sold was removed. Still, this issue is expected to resurface again on Capitol Hill in the future. As a note, I did reach out to the developers through their lobbyist. They declined my request for an interview to talk about their plans for the hospital property. Mike and Ashley.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Daniel, thank you.
All right, Kevin, I was